What would $10,000 do for you right now? Would it pay off your credit cards? Would it cover a few months of rent? Would it finally let you take a breath instead of worrying about bills? Most Americans struggle to save even a fraction of that. The average person under 35 has only $5,000 in their account. Millions live paycheck to paycheck, and yet, reaching $10,000 is closer than you think. The secret is not about winning the lottery. It is not about risky bets on crypto or chasing the next hot stock. It is about small, practical changes. It is about using simple strategies that actually work in everyday life. And it is about starting today. Because the truth is, if you can master the path to $10,000, you are building the habits that lead to $50,000, $100,000, and beyond. This is the philosophy of the passive path. Money is not only about working harder, it is about building systems that quietly work for you while you live your life. And today, we are going to walk through the exact steps that can get you to that first $10,000. Think about it. $10,000 is not just a number, it is the safety net that lets you sleep at night. It is the foundation for investing. It is the first building block of wealth. And once you see how simple it is to reach, you will wonder why you did not start sooner. The best part is this: these steps are available to anyone in North America right now. You do not need a finance degree. You do not need a six-figure income. You just need to follow through. Because while most people keep waiting for the perfect time, you will already be on your way. So let's begin. The first step is breaking down the $10,000 goal into smaller pieces that are easy to manage. Do you like this personality? $10,000 sounds like a mountain, but when you break it down, it becomes a series of small steps anyone can climb. Think of it this way: $10,000 in a year is about $833 a month. That is just $192 a week, or $27 a day. That is the cost of a dinner out with friends. That is the price of 2 movie tickets and popcorn. It is also the same as a full tank of gas for many cars. In other words, your $10,000 goal is not one huge wall. It is a series of small daily choices. Imagine saving $27 today. Now picture doing it again tomorrow, and again the next day. By the end of the year, you will be sitting on $10,000. That is the power of breaking down big goals into smaller numbers. It transforms something overwhelming into something realistic. This works because your brain handles small goals better. When the goal is too big, it feels impossible, and you give up. But when the goal is broken into manageable bites, you feel progress every day. Every time you save that $27, you see yourself winning. And winning builds momentum. Let's take a real example. A family in Chicago wanted to save for a house. They set a target of $10,000 in 1 year. At first it felt impossible, but then they looked at it in weekly amounts. $192 a week. They cut out Friday night takeout. They canceled unused subscriptions. They started meal prepping on Sundays. Each week they hit their number. By the end of the year, the down payment fund was full. The same story repeats across North America. A teacher in Texas used the daily breakdown method. She tracked $27 a day on a simple calendar. By the end of the year, she had built her first emergency fund. The magic is not in some complicated formula. The magic is in making a big goal small enough to start today. And once you see how small the daily step really is, the excuse of it's impossible disappears. If $27 a day still sounds heavy, remember this: some days you may save more, other days less. What matters is the consistent effort over time. It all adds up. Once you understand this breakdown, the next step is to take action right away before the momentum fades. Most people know what they should do with their money, but knowledge without action does nothing. The biggest danger is waiting. You tell yourself you will start next week, then next month, then after the holidays. Before you know it, another year has passed, and your balance has not changed. Momentum is strongest at the very beginning. When you feel the spark of motivation, that is the time to act. Think about how many times you felt excited to start something new. You bought the gym membership. You made the budget spreadsheet. You downloaded the new app. Then life got busy. You got a text, an email, a distraction, and that spark faded. The same thing happens with money goals. Waiting kills progress. Acting right away builds progress. Even a small step today can lock in momentum for tomorrow. This is why you should save your first $27 today. Not next week, not after payday. Today. A small start removes the mental barrier. It tells your brain that you are serious. It shows you that progress is real, not just an idea. In North America, distractions are everywhere. Black Friday sales, new phone releases, crypto hype, New cars with zero down offers. Each one tempts you to spend now and save later. But the truth is simple, later never comes. Action today is the only way forward. A young man in Toronto decided to start his savings plan with just $10. It was a small amount, but it was immediate. The act of doing it gave him confidence. He increased it the next week. By the end of the year, his emergency fund was larger than he thought possible. Starting right away matters more than the size of the first step. Think about it. If you had acted the first time you thought about saving, where would you be today? Chances are, you would already be much further ahead. That is why the time to start is not tomorrow. It is not next week. It is now. And to start effectively, you need to know exactly where your money is going. That means building a budget and tracking every expense. Trying to save without knowing where your money goes is like driving blindfolded. You might move forward, but you will crash sooner or later. A budget removes the blindfold. It shows you every dollar coming in and every dollar going out. Most people think they know where their money goes. They believe they spend carefully, but the numbers tell a different story. In North America, the average person spends thousands each year on non-essentials without realizing it. Coffee on the way to work, fast food when you feel too tired to cook, impulse Amazon purchases at midnight, streaming subscriptions you forgot you had. Each one feels small. Together they drain hundreds of dollars a month. That is money that could become your $10,000 savings. The first step is to track. Use a free app, link your accounts, or just open a spreadsheet. Write down every expense for 30 days. Groceries, gas, lunch, clothes, entertainment, subscriptions, everything. At first it feels annoying, but then you see the truth. You notice the $5 here, the $20 there. You add it up and realize those little things cost hundreds each month. One survey found the average American spends over $280 a month on impulse purchases. That is over $3,000 a year. Enough to pay down debt, enough to cover months of rent, enough to push you a third of the way toward $10,000. Tracking also reveals waste you can cut without losing quality of life, food that spoils before you eat it, energy bills from leaving lights on, credit card interest because you carried a balance. None of these give you value. Cutting them out is pure gain. A couple in California tracked their expenses for 60 days. They discovered they were spending nearly $800 a month eating out. By cooking at home 4 nights a week, they saved $400 a month. That is almost $5,000 a year, just from paying attention. Once you see your expenses clearly, you can decide what stays and what goes. The goal is not to cut everything. The goal is to cut the things that do not matter, so you have money for the things that do. And when you start removing the waste, something powerful happens. You realize you have more control over your money than you ever imagined. The next step is learning how to cut smartly and substitute instead of sacrifice. Cutting expenses does not mean living a miserable life. It means spending smarter so you keep what matters most. Think about food. Many people eat out because they are tired or short on time. A restaurant meal feels easier, but those meals cost 3 to 4 times more than cooking at home. The solution is not giving up good food. The solution is cooking restaurant-quality meals at home. You can prepare a steak dinner for 2 at home for the price of 1 takeout burger combo. The same goes for coffee. A latte from the cafe costs $5. A homemade latte costs less than $1. You still enjoy the drink, but now your savings grow every single day. The same principle applies to entertainment. Instead of paying for 5 streaming services, pick one, rotate every few months. You still enjoy movies and shows, but you cut your bill in half or more. When it comes to bills, negotiation works. Car insurance, internet, even phone service. Most providers give discounts to new customers, but not to loyal ones. All it takes is one phone call. Ask if they can lower your rate. If they say no, let them know you are willing to switch. Suddenly the discounts appear. One family in Ohio saved $50 a month just by calling their internet company. That is $600 a year for a 10-minute phone call. The key question to ask yourself is simple. How can I get the same thing for less? The answer is almost always there if you look: a cheaper gym with the same equipment, a second-hand car that runs just as well as the new model, a generic brand with the same ingredients as the expensive one. Each substitution keeps your lifestyle intact, but each one leaves more money in your pocket. Saving $1 is more powerful than earning $1. When you earn $1, you lose part of it to taxes, gas, or extra expenses. When you save $1, you keep it all. It stays with you forever. These small, smart changes create hundreds of dollars in extra savings each month. And the beauty is, you do not feel deprived. You are simply getting the same value at a better price. Once you begin to think this way, saving becomes automatic, and the fastest way to lock in those savings is to pay yourself first. Most people save only what is left at the end of the month. Bills come first, entertainment comes first, food and shopping come first, savings come last, and most of the time, nothing is left. That is why so many households, even with high incomes, have little in savings. The solution is to flip the order. This is called paying yourself first. It means savings happen before anything else. The moment money enters your account, a portion is set aside automatically. It could be $50. It could be $500. The amount matters less than the habit. By doing this, you guarantee growth before your money has a chance to disappear. Automation makes it effortless. Set up an automatic transfer from checking to savings, or direct deposit a percentage of your paycheck into a separate account. When money moves without you touching it, you forget it ever existed, and forgetting is good, because forgotten money grows quietly while you live your life. Think about a worker earning $4,000 a month. If they set aside 10% automatically, that is $400 each month. After 1 year, that is nearly $5,000 saved. No extra effort, just the power of automation. This principle works at every income level. Even households earning $200,000 a year struggle when they spend everything. The cycle repeats no matter how much you make. Income rises, spending rises, savings stay the same. Only paying yourself first breaks the cycle. On the passive path, this is a core idea. Wealth grows not from one-time decisions, but from systems that repeat forever. When you automate saving, you remove willpower from the equation. You do not argue with yourself each month. You do not wait to see what is left. You save first and spend what remains. It becomes impossible to fail. Even if emergencies come up, the habit continues. Even if expenses rise, you still protect a portion of your future. This is why automation is the foundation. But to make it even stronger, you can follow simple money rules that change how you think about every purchase. The way you make small money decisions shapes your entire financial future. One simple rule is the 24-hour rule. When you want to buy something, wait 1 day before spending. Most of the time, the desire fades overnight. What felt urgent yesterday feels unimportant today. This single rule can save thousands each year. Another rule is the 5-minute check. Before you buy, spend 5 minutes searching for a cheaper option or discount code. A quick online search often finds 10 or 20% off. 5 minutes of effort turns into real money saved. Then there is the 10 times rule. Ask yourself if the purchase gives you 10 times its cost in value. If a $90 kitchen tool saves you $900 in takeout, it is worth it. If a $90 shirt gets worn once, it is not. This leads to thinking about future value. Every dollar you spend today could grow if invested. $100 today could become $1,400 in 35 years at average market growth. So when you buy new shoes or the latest phone, ask yourself if the future growth is worth giving up. Clothing is a clear example. If you buy a shirt for $100 and wear it once, that is $100 per wear. If you buy a shirt for the same price and wear it 50 times, that is $2 per wear. Thinking this way changes how you shop. Finally, use the 10-to-1 rule. For every purchase, ask if you will receive at least 10 times its cost in satisfaction or usefulness. If the answer is yes, spend without guilt. If the answer is no, save the money. These rules are not about being cheap. They are about aligning your spending with long-term goals. They protect you from waste and redirect your money into growth. People who follow them find they naturally spend less without feeling restricted. Money stops leaking through small cracks. And the money you keep starts building the future you want. But rules alone are not enough. To reach 10,000 faster, you must focus on the big categories where most of your money disappears. Housing is the largest expense for most households in North America. Rent or mortgage takes up a huge share of income. That means it is also the biggest opportunity to save. If you rent, ask your landlord for a reduction when your lease ends. Show examples of lower rents in your area. Landlords often prefer keeping a tenant at a lower rate instead of facing vacancy. If you own, review your home insurance. Shop around for cheaper coverage with the same protection. Many people overpay simply because they never compare rates. You can also appeal your property tax bill with your local assessor. Small changes like these can save hundreds each year. Another option is renting out unused space. An empty bedroom could bring in $500 a month. That alone could cover $6,000 a year. Next comes transportation. The average car payment in the United States is now over $700 a month. That is more than many people pay for rent. Driving a reliable used car can save thousands compared to leasing or buying new. Choose a car you can pay for in cash. Avoid high monthly payments that eat into your savings. Also review your auto insurance policy. Adjust coverage if you drive fewer miles than estimated. A few phone calls could cut your bill significantly. Then we look at taxes. On average, single workers pay over 30% of their income in taxes. That is almost 1/3 of every year spent working just to cover the government bill. Hiring a skilled tax professional can help you find deductions and credits you may miss. Even small adjustments can put thousands back in your pocket. Food is another major category. Americans spend nearly $10,000 a year on food, with 40% of that at restaurants. Eating out should be a choice, not a habit born of laziness. Pack your lunch instead of buying a $20 meal during work. Cook dinner at home during the week. Reserve eating out for special occasions with friends or family. Cutting 3 meals out per week could save hundreds each month. Debt repayment is another critical area. The average household carries over $6,000 in credit card debt at interest rates above 20%. This is financial quicksand. Every month you delay, the debt grows. Focus on paying off the highest interest balance first. Each payment frees up more cash flow for your savings goal. Finally, clothing. The average person spends over $1,000 a year on clothes. Yet many of those items sit unused in closets. Buy fewer but better quality items. Track cost per wear to see the real value. Cutting your clothing budget in half adds an easy $2 per day in savings. Together, these 6 categories, housing, transportation, taxes, food, debt, and clothing, can unlock your $10,000 goal faster than cutting small luxuries. And once you optimize them, the next step is to increase your income and accelerate the process. Cutting expenses takes you far, but earning more takes you further. There is a limit to how much you can cut. There is no limit to how much you can earn. Adding even a few hours of extra work each week can transform your savings. At $15 an hour, 2 hours a day adds up to over $10,000 a year. That alone reaches the goal. Side hustles are everywhere. Driving for delivery apps, freelancing online, tutoring students after school, selling services in your local community. These options may not be glamorous, but they bring in steady money, and steady money builds savings. Switching jobs is another proven strategy. Data shows workers who switch jobs see almost double the pay increase compared to those who stay. If you have been in the same role for years, it may be time to look elsewhere. An extra $5,000 or $10,000 a year can be the difference between just getting by and building wealth. Investing in new skills also raises your earning power. Learning coding, project management, or sales can open doors to higher-paying work. Many free or low-cost resources online can boost your career without student loans. The key is to see income growth as part of your savings plan. Every extra dollar earned should flow directly into your $10,000 target. Avoid lifestyle creep. Do not spend more just because you earn more. Redirect the increase to savings and investments. This mindset turns income growth into wealth growth. One example is a couple in Florida. They worked extra shifts on weekends for 6 months. They saved over $8,000 from those shifts alone. By combining that with small cuts in daily spending, they reached their $10,000 goal in less than a year. When you focus on both saving and earning, progress becomes unstoppable. And once the money is saved, the next step is making sure it grows instead of sitting idle. Saving $10,000 is a major win, but leaving it in a basic checking account is a mistake. Money must work for you, not sit still. A high-yield savings account is the simplest option. Many banks in North America now pay 3 to 4% interest. That means your $10,000 could generate $300 to $400 a year with zero effort. Money market funds are another safe choice. They pay similar rates while keeping your cash accessible. For longer goals, consider investing in index funds. A simple S&P 500 index fund has historically returned around 7 to 8% a year. If you leave $10,000 invested, it could double in about 10 years, and it could grow to $100,000 in 30 years. That is the power of compound growth. Imagine someone who saves $10,000 by age 30. If they invest and leave it alone, by retirement, it could be worth hundreds of thousands. One decision today shapes decades of security. This is why saving is only half the story. The other half is growth. The passive path is built on this principle. Earn money, protect money, and grow money. When you follow all 3 steps, you build wealth steadily and safely. Your first $10,000 is just the beginning. The habits you use to reach it will carry you to 50,000, 100,000, and beyond. Every dollar saved and invested now becomes a worker for your future. And every worker brings you closer to freedom. With that in mind, let's close with the key lessons and action steps you can take starting today. You now have the full roadmap to reach $10,000. Break the goal into smaller steps so it feels possible. Start immediately before motivation fades. Track every expense and cut the waste. Substitute smartly instead of sacrificing. Pay yourself first through automation. Follow simple money rules that prevent bad purchases. Focus on the big categories where most of your money goes. Increase your income to speed up progress. And finally, put your savings to work so it grows. Anyone in North America can apply these steps no matter their starting point. It does not require high income. It does not require luck. It requires commitment and consistent action. The first 10,000 is the hardest. After that, the same habits carry you forward. This is the philosophy of the passive path. Build systems that protect your money and let it grow while you live your life. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. So take the first step now. Set aside your first $27. Begin the habit and watch it multiply. If this guide gave you clarity, share it with someone who needs it. And if you are ready to stay on the passive path, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment with your savings goal. Your future starts the moment you decide to take action. So decide today.